Welcome back to Destiny and Design. Today is a Virgo new moon, and we have some things to say about that. So I'm Christy, one of your co-hosts, and this is Sharon.
Hello, I'm Sharon.
All right, Virgo new moon happens tonight if you're on the Pacific Coast, 11:06 p.m. And if you are on the East Coast, it's tomorrow at 2:06 a.m. There's actually two new moons in Virgo. So the first of which is today or tomorrow. And then September 21st, there is a partial solar eclipse. There is an interesting, powerful portal that's happening. So the theme of this new moon, there is medicine and releasing whatever we've been hanging on to that isn't ours to carry. And this cracks the door open to healing old stories about our self-worth. Then at the next new moon, like I said, partial solar eclipse, September 21st, there's a powerful portal for healing these wounds around worthiness and stepping into the gifts that we came here to share. So between these powerful two new moons, take the time to experiment with what happens when we stop apologizing for who we are and start celebrating it instead. And this allows other people to celebrate who they are as well.
For me, it's so appropriate. And it's funny how things just always seem to line up with what's going on in the universe or what we're working on, what shows up in life. And I was just sharing with Christy over the last few days how I am discovering that based on my defined ego will center, which needs to get things right, I have stopped giving in life. I put up this wall, and it's there because I've had so many instances of giving as a 9 of clubs. And we've talked about this a little bit before in other mooncasts, but Christy and I are both 9 of clubs, and we are all about giving and sharing the information and the knowledge that we have gained with large groups of people and with others. And as you do that through life, and before I understood destiny cards and knew what was coming for me, I would just see it as, once again, I got taken advantage of. And that continued, and I ended up shutting down and not allowing myself to give anymore because my defined ego will center said, that's not fair. That's not right. So I would stop giving unless I could see that somebody else was willing to give the same amount. So I would wait. And purposely, it actually took effort for me to not give because I'm designed to give. I'm a 9 of clubs. I'm designed to give. But it took my ego willpower to say, no, I'm not going to do that until I can see what the other person is giving. What I just discovered through another book by Robert, who created the Destiny card system, is that me stopping that flow of giving out that I'm designed to do in this life has also stopped the flow of things coming back to me. So then I'm sitting here thinking, this is so not fair. And then just trying to muscle my way through as a manifesting generator with a defined ego will center and force things to happen. And that's not going to work. So it's just been such an enlightening experience over the past few weeks. Also, I'm in a 7 of diamonds in Saturn period, which is financial issues potentially. And what I really discovered is if I would have known about the significance of the destiny card system before I wound up in the middle of this, I could have had a little bit less of a bumpy ride at this point. So I'm just so thrilled that we're doing this, that Christy and I connected to create these so that the rest of you can find that place in your life where you can look at what's coming, contact us, figure out what's ahead for you, and we can help guide you through that.
Absolutely. So one of the things we wanted to chat about today, as Sharon was sharing, is the ego or will center. Some people call it the heart center too. If you have this center defined, then you have consistent willpower. Now it does still flow. It's the heart center. So there is like a push and then a pull. It's a motor. So if you have this defined, then you have the willpower to whatever your authority tells you yes to. For people that don't have an undefined ego, when they meet you, you connect them to their power. You make them pumped up. And then if they make a promise, then they walk away and they're like, why don't I have the willpower to do this anymore? So they were amplifying your willpower. For the undefined ego, their tendency really is trying to prove themselves or their worth. And the lesson is actually you're no more worthy now than the day you were born. You are always inherently worthy. And that is a lesson that the undefined ego teaches the defined ego, that even though the defined ego has this willpower and it's healthy for them to do things and get it right and prove things, they're still worthy regardless. The undefined ego, they say, is actually not designed to make promises. Let's say, regardless of what your authority is, if you're splenic and you have that in the moment answer, if you're emotional and you're supposed to wait on it, if you have the ego undefined, making promises will put physical pressure and stress on your heart because you don't have a consistent sense of being able to fulfill on that promise. So in this day and age, that was something that was really interesting for me to learn, because everything I've learned about integrity is keep your word, right? And so I've been doing this dance with my undefined ego. How can I give my word to something without seeming flaky?
I'm actually going to pull up your chart, Christy,
Hi,
so we can look
Stephanie.
at
Thanks for coming.
it. Just a little bit more about that. Christy mentioned that the undefined ego will center will feel the need to try to prove something. And the crazy thing about the design is that somebody with an undefined ego will center is the one design that is designed to have nothing to prove. And yet there's this, because you don't have consistent energy there of your own, and you have to sample it from other people, there's this constant feeling of you need to prove something. So that's one of the things that I love to work on with my clients, is to have them see that if you can really lean into not trying to prove anything, life gets so much simpler. Because then you just get to be. You get to be yourself. You get to act from your authority, be in response if you're a generator, wait for the invitation if you're a projector, wait the full moon cycle if you're like Taurus and you're a reflector, one of our uniqueness people here. And life just gets to be simple and easy and beautiful. Okay. So on the left, we have Christy. And this is the ego will center here. And you can see that hers is white. And this is me on the right. And mine is red and colored in. And not only is it red and colored in, but it's connected directly to my throat center. It's also connected directly to my solar plexus, which is the emotional center that we talked about on the last mooncast. And then my solar plexus is connected right back up to my throat center. So for me, for the defined ego, I do have something to prove. Like my design is to prove things, but it can show up in different ways when you don't understand it. Before I understood my design, I was all about the argument. If I felt I was right about something, I would poke at somebody until I got them to admit, like to the death, until I got them to admit that I was right. And that took so much energy. I have all this energy from my 4 motor centers, but I was using it all trying to prove something, that if I was having the conversation with Christy, she would just get tired and want to run away and be like, I don't know why she's just like abusing me here and trying to make me say something that I don't want to say. I'm just going to, okay, you're right. And so I can get out of here. And so that was what life was like. But it's so great to understand this stuff now, that you get the freedom to just be and accept that if you run into somebody that's trying to debate with you, they probably have a defined ego will center that they just don't understand, that they don't have to prove it every time.
Not only do you have the defined ego, you also have a defined ajna, the third eye. So that's the green triangle on the right. So not only do you need to be right and you have the energy to prove that, but you also have a fixed way of understanding things. Whereas in my chart, it's white. And I can understand numerous points of view. Not that you can't, but I'm open to that. And I'm not stuck to any of them. Even if I think I am, and then I walk away from that person, I'm like, oh, no, that's fair. I could think of it another way too. So it is literally the open mind.
No, it is. What you said is very true. Like before I understood my design, I was very stuck. The joke in human design is that somebody with a defined head is very narrow-minded, and in the most negative sense of that term. And before I understood my design, that was absolutely me. And now it's so great because now I get to see I do have my process. I do only take in the information that I need and want at the time because my defined head is going to try to store all of that information. And it's not physically possible as a human being to store everything. Christy gets the beauty of being able to just let things flow through. And then if she wants to capture something in the moment, she does that. She uses it for what she needs in that moment, and then she lets it flow on by. Me, I'm over here, okay, I've got all this information. I got to store it. I got to categorize it and I got to catalog it. And I need to be able to grab it in the future and I need to know where it is. And it's so much effort.
It's funny you brought up the narrow mind as the negative because we're nine of clubs, which tends to look at the negative, worry, doubt, pessimism. Everyone deals with these things, but nine of clubs is particularly because we're always letting go. We're like, what am I going to have to let go of this time? It's probably going to go for the worst. But I wanted to bring up the negative side, of course, of the open head, which is we think about things that don't matter. Just last night, my dear husband said, you think too much about things that don't matter. And like in the moment, I was like, my little tantrum. But after that, I was like, he's right. That is my design. There is a beauty in learning to notice and observe when I'm thinking about how much does this matter and why am I thinking of this anyway? It's still in need of directing my energy.
On the positive side of the open head, how beautiful it is to have Christy just capture out of thin air ideas and concepts that me as a manifesting generator gets to be in response to. And it just helps us flow so much easier because otherwise, back to the conversation about the defined ego will center, I would have to get it right. So with my defined head and ajna, I would need a process. I would have to get that process right. I would keep gathering information to get the process right. It would take me 3 weeks to figure out what to say and what to do on one of these sessions. And I probably would never end up doing it. But then Christy's out there and she just says, hey, let's talk about this. And I get to be in response and I'm a sacred yes. And then we just move forward. And it's such a beautiful flow that life can be when you understand your design.
We're both nine of clubs, and you guys know that from our past sessions. Because my birthday is in September, I started looking at my cards ahead. Now, being a nine of clubs, that's probably one of the worst things I can do is look at my own cards. Because of course, I see these cards and I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. I get nervous. So I reached out to Sharon and I said, Sharon, as a nine of clubs, you're basically future me because you're living in my future. What happened at 33? And this was the interesting part. It got us on the topic of other key points in our life. And she goes, did you get cheated on at 27? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I didn't have like a specific confirmation. And I was like, did you change jobs at 30? She's like, yeah.
Yeah. So it was so fascinating to look back because we have a significant age gap between Christy and myself. So I've lived all these years ahead of her. And I still, as a 1-4 profile in human design, the investigator opportunist, I still was not really believing that she and I could have the same nine of clubs and have the same thing happen in our lives. Like, how is that even possible? So we went down this whole path of just starting at what, 18, 17?
Yeah.
Did this happen here? Did this happen here? Did this happen here? And it did. Not the exact same thing. And a lot of times it was, we've both been cheated on a couple times or more in our lives. One where I could prove it at one point and she couldn't prove it at that same age, but we felt like it was true. And then another time where she could prove it and I couldn't. And it was this validation too of seeing, oh my gosh, my instincts were correct. That really was happening then because it happened to her as well. It was a fun and kind of disturbing journey down memory lane.
Well, yeah. And so I was looking at the chart for nine of clubs again, which is our mutual chart. So at age 30, we have a 5 of diamonds, which is about change in money as our displacement. So it's something that took effort from us that we were like, oh man, this is taking a lot more effort and time. And then also in the Jupiter at age 30, we both had a 5 of spades, which literally means changing jobs. So it's just wild how the themes, again, it's not exactly the same situation. I left my ex at 30 and therefore lost my job working for him at the tanning salon that I'd had for 5 years. where Sharon's situation was a little bit different. So it's just the themes. We like to say the cards are like the weather. So we both had this interesting thunderstorm at age 30 in the area of work.
For me at age 30, when she first asked me that, I was like, no, I didn't change jobs. But then I realized in my mind it was changing companies, but I actually did change jobs significantly inside my same company. Whereas I had gone to school to be an accountant, and that was my degree. And I went in and started working at this company as a payroll accountant, and then moved into a job that was a better fit for my design, not even knowing about my design at the time at age 30. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did change. And it was significant. And it was like in a different path for me than what I had planned. The other thing that I wanted to mention about that is, like Christy said, with the 9 of clubs being focused on the negative
Mm.
a lot. Like that's the first thought. If there's something that comes up, we are going to immediately see the negative side of the coin and then have to work to see the positive side and see the possibility out of that negative. So understanding that has been huge for me in itself. But at the same time, it was really great to see all of these things play out and be able to look ahead and see what's coming. So I had my little freak out time after she had hers, and I'm looking ahead. I just moved. And in 4 months from now, when my birthday is and I start my Mercury period, I have 2 more 5s coming up. And I'm like, Christy, I don't want to have to move again. I don't want to throw my life up in the air again. I don't know what this is. And I want to be settled. And my undefined G center just wants to belong and be someplace for a while. And so she had to calm me down and remind me that who knows what those opportunities are going to be. We are here to live out our purpose of sharing knowledge. And maybe that means that actually takes off and I'm moving or changing jobs or changing what I'm doing because I'm finally stepping into fully fulfilling on my purpose here.
We're grateful to have each other to remind us to look at the high side. And with that said, anything else, Sharon, before we head into Q&A? Wonderful. Okay, open for questions.
So Torrance was with us on our last Mooncast, and we had talked about some things in his chart and in his cards. And I was just wondering, wanted to ask you, was there anything that has happened since then that you want to share with us about the discoveries that you made on the last call and how they impacted your life going forward since then?
Yeah, I'll just say that there's a lot of transitioning going on between me and my spouse. And I can just say that it was very helpful to have some reassurance because there's been a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fog. For in my mind, I'm feeling more and more stepping into my purpose and my gifts. And then here's my partner who's been pulling me back a little bit and I'm feeling yanked this way. And then I'm like having like questions like, oh my goodness, are we even meant to be kind of thing? I'm like having all these doubts about our relationship and grateful to have you two ladies that host this beautiful thing that you share and be able to receive the information that you provided in regards to. Yes, I always knew that she was my soulmate, but just having that confirmation from you was uplifting. We're still going through the changes right now as we speak, but being able to at least show her the recording of my piece, that piece that I was able to share with her, it made her like her ego is so like resistant to what's going on right now. She wants to be in control, and her hearing that was at least I think deflated the tire a little bit, the tightness that was overflated there. But yeah, you just say that it's been helpful, and it's like where we're at right now, and I'm just kind of okay. I'm getting this new moon right now. It's kind of read that horoscope of mine, and it kind of was like it's time to rest and to be to myself right now, which is needed, right? Because I've been receiving a lot of judgment from her on whatever I'm doing. She's questioning me and doubting me with good reason. I've been with her for 13 years, so it's hard for her to see who I am now than I was a couple years back. But I could just say that, yeah, the reading that we received was just like something that I needed. And just like I'm having synchronicity come into play in so many different ways. And in my reading from you, Sharon was my worth. That was my biggest challenge. And so it's like seeing that, being able to recognize that, it's been like, that has been something that's always on the back of my mind and I've always struggled with. But hearing that from you and then been working on that since, you coming to like peace with it, it's been such an uplifting thing for me. And I'm still going through it, but it's I feel better on the other side rather than in my own mind and trapped in my own mind.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
That's so
Torrance.
great. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
In line with what we were talking about with Christy and I, this is Torrance on the left and his wife on the right. And it's the same thing of they both have the undefined ego will center, trying to prove their worth and value or feeling the need to do that, even though they're not designed to need to do that. But you just feel that urge to prove that. But then Torrance is wide open and his wife has the defined ajna and the very heavily defined throat. So she is going to have a certain process for things. And if that doesn't match with the very openness, like Christy was saying, oh, this floats in and this is the direction I'm going to go right now. And that's what we were able to share with Torrance is that he's floating through life and pulling in the things that will support the direction of his purpose here. And if that doesn't fit with what has been ground into the process for his wife, then there's going to be some bumps. And I'm so glad that you were able to hear from us that based on the two of you together, those bumps are necessary for you both to up level so that you can both provide what you're here to provide to all of humanity. Christy,
Yeah.
did you have anything you wanted to share on that?
Just what we shared last time, that just because you're aware of the things and you've heard from us, those cards are still there. There's still these transits until your next birthday. So hang in there.
Thank you. Thank you. I will appreciate that. And again, that is so appreciated here. It's something that's needed. So thank you.
Thanks, Torrance. Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou.
So I popped on just because I work at 11. So I was trying to just pop on and say hi and just check out what you're doing today.
Oh, thank you so much.
I could have just texted you. If you're not busy tomorrow, come by the Lotus of the Valley. It's our mini version of the expo we're going to do here because I would like to have you here for a future one.
Yeah, I'd love that too. I'll text you about that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I really could use your cards. I haven't had a thing like we did this thing, I don't know, like a month or 2 months ago. But I would like.
Do you have a question? We can do it now.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to take anybody's spots or time away from anybody.
No, we still have a half hour. We got time.
Oh, okay. So I need to close a door to a job that I'm super part-time at, that I have been there. So when the quarantine happened, three jobs were eliminated from my life. And Jamie, who owns the Lotus of the Valley, hired me at her other business that she sold last year. It's a long story. But anyway, I've been there for almost 5 years now. She sold that place last year. I'm still at that old place with the new owners, and it's toxic, it's negative, and I'm just sticking it out because I was like waiting for a new door to open. And so I can close that one, slam it. And I felt like I had confirmation last week. I know there's a lot of changes happening, and I'm really just, I think I just need some confirmation that I'm making the best choices.
Yeah. Remind me your birthday.
10/8/73.
October 8th?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the chat, but tonight for us is the new moon in Virgo, which is all about letting go of what's no longer serving you. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
And you're an ace of diamonds, which that's an interesting one. And then a 5 of hearts. Okay. How old are you right now?
I am 51.
51. So your annual theme is a 9 of spades, which is letting go of work. That's the theme of your year. There it is. And it looks like your birthday gift at the end of, so by October 8th, you have a 5 of diamonds, which is exactly the card that Sharon and I were talking about when we changed jobs. That was the card that was present. And it's a good thing because it's in the birthday gift. spot. So it's like you finally get to slam that door, like you said. And what else do we have? You have financial protection too, because your environment is an eight of diamonds. And in your Jupiter, the most powerful card in the deck. So Jupiter is how you expand your business or spirituality or make more money. You have the King of Spades, so you've got power, and you have the Nine of Clubs, which is letting go of mental involvements.
Or it could also mean you're in the right space to be here with us right now, with both of us being the Nine of Clubs, to help guide you through the Five of Diamonds.
And yeah, it can.
I have coming up in my Mercury.
Nice. The Nine of Clubs in Jupiter can be making money through sharing spiritual knowledge, which I know you're starting to do Reiki and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I've been waiting my whole life to be providing my purpose fully. And I'm just needed just that little extra confirmation that I am making the right choices.
Yeah. You also have, as soon as you said life purpose, I started looking for sixes and your displacement card. So the thing that's taking more time and energy than you thought this year is a Six of Spades, which is literally like finding your life purpose this year. But it's not, it takes more time and energy than you thought, which I think is where this is coming from. Should I stay or should I go? It says this influence is especially fortunate for work and career. Many people ascend to great recognition and accomplishment while this card is present. This influence helps those in business the most, promising great rewards and the opportunity for expansion. Any opportunities for expansion will likely lead to greater success. An underlying theme of this card is that of finding our personal destiny or purpose. You'll probably get some opportunities this year to fine-tune your direction in life and have the chance to discard any activities that are not contributing to you achieving your most heartfelt goals and desires. So this is perfect. As always, you're right where you're supposed to be. Well done.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
You got this, girl. I'd love to grab coffee and chat more about this too.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for your question.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've been wanting to. Like I said, I've just been so busy. And I've been talking about, it's funny how I wasn't listening to my body, and because I've just been taught to ignore it, that generation, whatever. And so I am trying to be more in tune with what I'm thinking about when I'm in pain, and or what is it that is plaguing me in that moment or in that last few moments. And it's always the frustration at that other job. And I'll just be at home and I'll be talking about something that went on that day. And I'm like, and my fiance is like, are you okay? Because I'll go from my happy self and I'll be like, rawr, at the end of that conversation. And he's like, are you okay? Because then my side starts to hurt, and then my back, and then my knee. And I'm like, what is happening? And and then I told him, I said, okay, I'm going to not that I have to give 2 weeks notice because it's just under the table. They don't give they do not care about their people. But out of respect, it's just old school. It's just how I am. I'm going to give them some notice and let them know that I'm out because it's time, but there's no love over there and I need love. So
yes, you do.
I am the love and I need the love around me. Anyways, so I said I was going to give it 2 weeks. And it was interesting when I said that out loud, it was like my body took a breath and was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, holy shit, I think that's definitely a confirmation that I got to get out of there. It was just a matter of me getting my mind and trusting that I am always provided for, and that financial thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
And Cindy Lou, I'd love to take a look at your human design chart.
And while you're pulling that up, this past week, Sharon too had a situation where she's like, I really don't want to do this work thing. It's just one event. And she's like, my body's in pain. And then the event canceled and her pain was gone. And she's like, wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing because I didn't feel like I was ready for it. Like I wanted to do these events, but I wasn't ready to do this event. And inside of my design, coming from a generator side in human design, I'm supposed to be in response to things. And I was not in response to this. Somebody else booked this event for me. I didn't even know who the person was going to be. I didn't get to see them. And I didn't get to be a sacral yes for doing that event at that particular time with that person. So I woke up in the morning knowing that I had to do that evening. And I woke up feeling, and my shoulder was hurting and my entire left side was all achy. And I was messaging Christy, I don't know what to do about this. And literally as we are texting back and forth, I get the pop-up that the event canceled, or actually she rescheduled. She didn't just cancel, she rescheduled for a week out, which I immediately took a breath, like you said, took a breath and was like, oh, this is so perfect. I was a yes for that. Instantly, 90% of my physical issues went away. Like in that instant, our bodies will tell us, listen to your body.
Yeah, I try. I'm working on that. I'm working on that consistency.
Yes. And especially with your design, you have so much instinctual energy down here. But then you also, as we were talking about earlier, you have the undefined ego will center, which is going to feel the need to prove your worth and value right now, because you also have gate 1, which is the gate of the now. So you're going to need to feel, I need to do this now. I need to change this now. I need to do whatever. But just lean into these incredible instincts that you have out of your defined spleen. You know what's right. Your body is going to tell you what's right and when it's right. And if it tells you it's wrong, don't do it. Just don't do it. Chrissy, did you have anything to share from this?
Oh, just look how open she is. Like you've got open, almost completely open emotional centers. So you're saying this like toxic workplace, that's coming right into your pores. Like you are picking up all of that, the undefined ego. So it makes you feel like you have to prove yourself, even though you know that there's no point and you know that you're worthy anyway. Gate 12. I have gate 12 in the throat, and that can be an interesting gate.
That's part of the emotional wave that's like a ratcheting up.
You got to be in the mood to say the
Mhm.
thing. Otherwise, it comes out nasty.
Yep. It comes out like a volcano erupting.
Uh-huh.
Have you experienced that?
Yes, but I have almost perfected being mindful of my word choices. Oh, I always pause before any response.
Yeah.
It has not been an easy. It was not easy, but about 14 years ago is when I started making changes in my life and healed a lot of past trauma and parental stuff.
Mm.
And so I'm doing pretty well. I am not who I was 15 years ago by no means. I have the same amazing heart. But I actually love myself, and I have forgiven people in my past, and I don't take things personal, and I'm not offended, and I'm just in a really good place. I think there's just like two things that I deal with. And one of the main things is always being challenged with trusting in finances and what's to come. But I know I create a lot of that just because of old mindset. But anyway, enough about me.
So I just have a little pro tip for you, Cindy Lou.
Okay.
Because you have such a heavily defined splenic center, this is all of your instincts. Your body is literally going to tell you in the moment, is this right or is this not? So if you listen to it and you allow yourself to not do the things that your body says, nope, this is not right, you will have to spend less energy and less time checking yourself to not have that volcano reaction happen, because you won't even be in those situations where that will come up.
And you have the same channel I have, the 5710, connecting the yellow diamond in the middle to the spleen. That is, first of all, the 57 is the fear of the future. So I share that with you. That's the low side. But the whole channel is called the channel of survival. It's the channel of perfected form. So we can't lose. Like, just follow your instinct. It will always guide you to where you are protected and safe. they say in an emergency or crisis, people with that channel, me and you, are the ones that people should be following. And that channel is not for anyone else. That's like, I'm going to survive. You can follow me if you want, but I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I feel that in my soul, like things about me that I have a hard time, like I could be acknowledging because I was like, I don't know, like you're not raised to have that confidence or to feel secure like that, like most of us, or safe even. And it's funny because I feel like deep within me, like I have these amazing qualities. And sometimes I'm like, no, I don't. Why would I? I don't have that quality. But I also didn't know that I would have any leadership qualities. I thought I was this little passive, little people pleasing follower.
Oh,
Just,
no.
but that was my life. That was what it was. And so being a complete opposite now, I'm like, oh, who was that? I don't even know who that was. But because I have embraced some of those qualities I didn't think I had. So I'll take it. I will accept all of my divine qualities.
That's so funny and so perfect for your design because you also have this guy down here is the channel of judgment. And a lot of times that shows up as judgments about ourselves. So
Well,
that's what you were just saying. You're letting go of that energy and accepting your true gifts in all of this openness. And you're a 1-3 profile like Christy, where you're here to find the solid foundation in things, everything around you.
so
Yeah.
this is so perfect with the new moon. Again, I'd love if you if you weren't here, listen to the beginning of what we said, because this new moon is all about letting go of what's not serving us. And then in the time between now and the next Virgo new moon, which is in 30 days, which is also a partial solar eclipse, we're being asked to let go of judging ourselves and start accepting and celebrating ourselves. And it makes me think of your chart. We say people pleasing, that's the open solar plexus, avoiding confrontation because we don't want to deal with the waves of other people's emotions. And we all live from that openness. When we're conditioned, we all are raised into living from the openness. And then the deconditioning process, which is all of this Virgo new moon self-love, is allow all that to be there, embrace it, celebrate it, enjoy it, but be your gifts, which are all of those lines in your chart, the perfected form, the channel of judgment, be the high side of those gifts. And that's you being your purest frequency for everyone else. So thank you so much for your time. I just want to check in. Is there anyone else that has other questions for the last 13 minutes of our Mooncast? Ian.
I just have a general question. I feel like everything everyone said today is so relatable, right? I've been going through this 5-year basically transition. I feel like my whole life has been very planned and detailed oriented. I've never been so free as I am right now in this moment, which has me scared of what the future holds because I'm trying to let go and not be in control. And my anxiety is like going through the roof, right? Basically, I'm second guessing myself. Is that trying my body saying I shouldn't go down this path? Or is that just the final thing I need to release to have the breakthrough of new beginnings? Because this whole year and last few years have been all about everything ending. And now I'm ready for the next step. So what am I? I am a Virgo rising. So I feel like this is a big moment with moons in Virgo and the South Node release and everything. So what do I need to do to finally have this final release? I need to have things start generating as a generator without trying to force it.
Remind me your birthday, Ian?
December 21st, 19.
Okay, and we've discovered you're the Capricorn, so you're the Queen of Diamonds. And 10 of Clubs. Remind me how old you are. 39, was it?
39, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, while she's pulling that up, I have this continual phrase that keeps coming up. You can't make this shiitake mushrooms up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everything that you said is right here. Your instincts from your defined spleen versus your defined ego will center that needs to get it right. And you have a direct channel between the two. So there is going to always be that push and pull between my instincts say this, but nope, I got to get it right. I got to figure it out. Got to go get more information and make sure that it's right before I do it. Can't trust. But like we said to Cindy Lou, like we said to Cindy Lou, listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you. You're going to get that deep in your gut feeling that, ooh, this just doesn't feel right. This is not right. And go with that. It'll make life so much easier. And trust me, as somebody with that defined ego will center, that little bad boy here, it's the tiniest center in the body graph visually, and yet it packs the biggest punch because that thing has got power. Like, you have the willpower to do anything you want to do, even to your detriment. We've talked about that before, that don't let that guy take over. Easier said than done. Trust me.
So this year is a 3 of Clubs year for you. So there's indecision and uncertainty in your mental faculties. This is not a year to be clear, basically. But you have something similar to what we read for Cindy Lou, that you have a 6 in your displacement. So this is a year that something is happening that's helping you clear up or get more access to what this destiny is. And for you, it's in the realm of hearts. So that's relationships and emotions. So you're being guided back onto the past. Even though you can't see it, it's like maybe driving in fog. It is happening. So you can trust that, but you're not going to have that clarity until next year. It could be, so next year you have a 5 of Diamonds, which could be a change of jobs or how you make money or a restlessness with your values. But then you have also a 4 of Spades. So next year ends up feeling a lot more stable in your work, health, and lifestyle. If there is some letting go next year, it's a good thing. Next year looks spiritual, but that's always good, of course. Oh, amazing. Yeah, okay. If it's money stuff, next year is going to be incredible. The 8 of Diamonds in Jupiter. So that's always where you want it to be. That only happens a couple times in your life.
Yeah. And this is where knowing that next year financially and on your purpose path is going to be incredible for you, just hang on. Use that defined ego will center to get you through this time. Because you can't. Knowing that's coming.
So how do I use all this restless energy, driving through fog, afraid of going the wrong way in the fog, to get in touch with that defined will center that is so, I'd probably like cloud over it and try to block it?
So this year, allow the uncertainty and the anxiety to channel it, do things with art. Your hobbies are gonna, like, just get your mind out of thinking you need to know, especially with the open head and ajna. Like, it's gonna, and you have a right awareness variable, which is more deep. Yeah, where Sharon's pointing. You're not really here to focus, first of all, on anything. You're more receptive and just let things come to you. So just try to lighten, like play, watch movies. Don't let the fog get to you. Just trust that you're going that direction.
Yeah. So on the arrows first, that reminded me, you have a right manifestation arrow as well, which means this is probably not going to make you feel better, but you're not supposed to manifest from specifics. You want to manifest what's coming in more of the touchy-feely type of way. So if you were looking to move to a new location, this is the easiest example, move to a new home. You wouldn't want to say, I want 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and an east facing. You would want to say things like, I want a home that's in a community that makes me feel safe and secure. I want a home that is with brightness that makes me feel alive. So all of those feelings related to what that location or what you want in your life is going to make you feel and what it's going to bring to your life, those are the things to focus on.
And you have the channel of the massive aura, which is 15.5. Your aura is literally twice the size of everyone else. People feel you walk into the restaurant while you're in the parking lot. And so feeling the frequencies of what you want, it's stronger than if anyone else were to do that.
And I think what Christy's pointing to is you don't even have to speak it.
Yeah.
Your aura is so big. If you have it in your mind and you keep repeating to yourself where you're headed, it will just generate itself out there and people will start bringing that to you to be in response to.
And you don't have to know. You have your G center is defined. So you don't get to fall off the map, and it's connected directly to your sacral twice, which is so powerful. So you have one of the most powerful motors in the body graph connected to your sense of self, identity, and direction. So don't worry. Like, there's no possible way that you can float away from what you're supposed to be doing. You have an internal GPS system, and it is consciously defined too. So at some level, you know when you're going off track, and it literally just won't let you.
Okay, that's comforting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm starting to realize how powerful I can be. And at the same time, that's extremely scary. That's what I've been trying to get a handle on this whole year. And I feel like things are clearing out of my life, allowing me to do what I want.
Amazing.
So pro tip for you, Ian, is start practicing listening to your defined spleen in little ways. Get to understand what it feels like, because it's not even a sounds like. For me, or for you too, as the generator, you're looking for that sacral aha or up. But at the same time, you have the defined spleen that I don't have. So you're going to get that body hit. Even if you're an aha, listen to your body hit that goes, ooh, that felt weird. And you can do it with little things like, what do I want for breakfast? And you think of something and you're like a yes for it, but then your eye twitches, or you feel something in your body. Notice those little things. Start to practice with the little things that don't really matter. If you choose the wrong thing for breakfast, who cares? It's all about starting to feel those sensations.
Okay. All right. That's great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ian. Such a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you. Awesome.
We have a couple minutes left. Ruby Ann.
Yeah. Wanted to get Christy's point of view on the fact that I just told my son, I issued him a 45-day notice to move out of my house. And that was probably one of the most emotional things I've done and been through. So, yeah, I just hope I know it's right, but I hope it's going to be okay.
Oh, it's definitely going to be okay. Don't worry about that. But remind me your birthday.
May 19th.
May 19th. Oh, King of Clubs and a 4 of Hearts. Oh, so family is important to everyone, but like, you're a 4 of Hearts. Okay, so King of Clubs. How old are you, Les?
52.
Gotcha. Oh, yes, Jupiter year. Okay. This year, your theme is a 4 of Diamonds, so you're all about stability in your values, which can be hard to step in if you've had fluctuating values and you're undefined solar plexus, so you're avoiding confrontation and truth like I do. So that would be hard, of course. You're picking up on his emotions about all of this, and you have 2 hanging gates. Okay, gate 36 and gate 6 in the solar plexus. The 6 is about boundaries, and you don't have that, but you want it because you have the 59 reaching. Funny enough, with your sun, and 59-6 is a channel of mating. So this is like boundaries with family, with your reproduction, your son. Of course, this is showing up, right? And the 36 is crisis. So you've got this constant sense of like, when is the other shoe going to drop? Is this going to turn into a crisis? And there's conflict because that's the gate 6. So for sure, I can see how that would be triggering, and you're trying to avoid all of that conflict and confrontation. You also have the completely open head in Ajna, so you're just like, and the right variables too. So you're like impending doom at all times, what could possibly happen, and you're thinking about all these things that don't matter, just like how I do, and completely open ego. So there's always something to prove. Okay, so this year, 52, we've got this 4 of Diamonds, so the stability. And you also have that in your Jupiter with a 7 of Hearts, which is letting go of expectations and allowing others to love themselves. And you have this emotional challenge through that. In your Saturn, the 5 of Hearts, which is separation from loved ones. What's your son's birthday?
March 10th.
King of Diamonds and a 4 of Spades. Okay. Your Saturn could be interesting in terms of the actual separation. That's something that feels like a burden. It's hanging over you this year. You do have the letting go. The 9 of spades is your challenge. And then it ends up being like a spiritual thing. The 7 of hearts, the emotional stuff, is your displacement. So it takes more time and energy than you thought. But don't worry, you have the gift of intuition with you this year and serving through intuition. And then in your other spread, the 4 of hearts, of course. Okay, so the 7 of hearts is your annual theme in this one. So this is all about letting go and the emotional challenge. Your challenge in this spread is the 9 of hearts. So letting go of a loved one. And this is perfect too, because this is the Virgo new moon about letting go of things that no longer serve you. That's your whole freaking point this year. So this could feel like it's coming to a head right now. And man, this 7 of hearts, you can't get away from it. It's in your Jupiter as well. So the 7 of hearts, learning unconditional love and non-attachment in relationships. You don't say. So the basic meaning of the 7 of hearts, because it shows up in 4 spots, the 7 of hearts indicates that whatever time this card appears could be marked by challenges in love and feelings in your close relationships. The 7 of hearts can manifest as betrayal by those we love. In any case, we will be tested to see just how attached we are to others being a certain way. 7 is a highly spiritual number, promises success in love if you try a new approach and adopt a more selfless or unattached attitude. If we can allow others to be who they are and not place so many demands on them, we not only become more aware of their true personalities, but we also allow ourselves the freedom to be just who we are and experience just how it feels to be free of fear and attachment. Many high spiritual experiences have occurred while a 7 was present, and you have it all over your year. Literally, it's your theme and it shows up 4 different times. So
Wow.
this is just the order of the day. And with the Virgo new moon right now, it's the time there's medicine in releasing what we've been holding on to that's no longer serving us. And by September 21st, that's the partial eclipse. So there's the time between now and then for the next 30 days. We are practicing accepting exactly who we are, letting go of what's not serving us, and then celebrating. And then the more that you are who you are, your son gets to be more of who he is and let go of what's not serving him.
Okay. Perfect. And that's funny because like therapy yesterday was, Sharon knows, was all about that, was all about me discovering more, to just have a few more light bulbs hit, to just be able to understand who I am and be able to walk in life from a victorious mind frame instead of a victim mindset.
And this year, he's your Mercury. So there's a lot of communication with him. There's probably something that happened right after your birthday that involved him, and it was quickly over. And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but he's on your mind, your conscious mind a lot this year because of his position. And then, what did you say his birthday was?
March 10th.
March 10th. 4 spades, just seeing where else that shows up.
And he's how old right now?
20.
Yeah. So while we're looking this up, I just wanted to say one of the things that I've really been discovering, because Destiny Cards is new for me as well since January. I'm the 5-year certified trained expert in human design, but the whole Destiny card side of things is brand new to me. So what I've been discovering is there is a definite comfort in the knowing, like just the knowing that this isn't some random thing that you decided and it's the wrong path. Like it literally is laid out in your entire year. This is what you are supposed to be going through right now. So just take comfort in knowing that you're on the right path. Trust your defined spleen. Like we were saying to Ian, start practicing with the little things and discover what's possible through that. Step into the real you, the powerful you.
And that will allow for the stability and love that is your planetary ruling card. It's through things like this where you're letting go and then you get to be you and he gets to be him. That's how you get stability in your love, home, and family. It's part of what you signed up for in this crazy ride we call life. I'm excited for you. And thank you so much for your generous sharing and joining us today.
Yes.
Of course. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
that concludes our session for today. Thank you all so much for joining us for today's Destiny and Design Mooncast. We absolutely love sharing this space with you and your beautiful energy. Thank you for all your authentic sharing as well. As we discussed, today's Black Moon, new moon in Virgo, was all about letting go of what no longer serves us. Our next mooncast is the perfect follow-up for today's session. It will occur on Friday, September 5th at 11 a.m. Pacific, and we'll be celebrating the harvest full moon, which occurs on September 7th. This harvest full moon is a time for gratitude, abundance, and reaping the rewards of the seeds we've just sown during this new moon. It invites us to pause, honor our growth, and release any final remnants as we step into the new season with clarity and fullness. We can't wait to see you there. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.